Greetings, everyone. Oh, shit. Shit. Try that again. Greetings, everyone, and Happy New Year from Seoul, South Korea. Before I say anything else, let me tell you, every week that I've made one of these things, it's like I've watched my viewer count. I've actually had more viewers every week. Like the second week had more viewers than the first week, and the third week had more viewers than the second week. So, big thank you to all the people who are actually tuning into these damn things. You know, I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I'm not trying to monetize these videos and make any kind of career or any kind of money out of this. It's just kind of something I'm doing as a hobby to kind of keep up with everybody back home. But it seems like people are tuning into these damn things. So thank you very much. So obviously it's the first of the year here, so Happy New Year to everybody. My New Year got off to a great start. This morning I woke up and somebody was calling me on that little Facebook phone thing. And, you know, of course, I'm like, who the fuck is this bothering me? But it turned out to be my old buddy, John Miles. I haven't talked to him in over 20 years. So he and I got caught up this morning, and it was great to do that. And that's one of my New Year's resolutions this year is to keep in better contact. I know I've probably said that before, but I really, really mean that. It's like, you know, it was good to talk to him. I've been in touch with a guy named Rob McDonald that I actually grew up with. Hadn't seen Rob in probably... Well, I don't want to say how long ago that was because, you know, I'm not trying to give away my age here or anything. How old do I look like I am? Yeah, leave that in the comments. Say something nice or I'll delete it. But anyway, yeah, I've heard from both of these guys here lately, and it's always good to hear from old friends. So by all means, people, get in touch with me. That's one of my New Year's resolutions this year. You want to hear some of the other ones? Here they are. Obviously, weight loss is, I think, everybody's big thing. You know, after you eat for the holiday, you decide, yeah, I'm going to lose weight. So weight loss is one of my resolutions this year. Of course, it's been a resolution of mine since I started making these videos. It was one of the big reasons I started making these videos. And I'm happy to report that even after all the junk food and crap that I've been eating during the holidays, I have lost another 1.5 pounds, which brings my total weight loss to 8.5 pounds, which means I only have, do the math real quick, 56.5 more pounds to go. So totally doable. Like, you know, I'm not one of these people that needs to lose hundreds and hundreds of pounds and go on one of those TV shows where I cry and, oh my God, I just can't do it. Like, no, I mean, 56 pounds, it sounds like a lot, but honestly, twice in my life I've lost a shit ton of weight. One time I lost 44 pounds, another time I lost 46 pounds. So this is just a little bit more than that. Totally doable once you set your mind to it. So I'm well on my way. But right now, I'm down 8.5 pounds. Not too shabby. Another resolution I have this year is to get better at Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. This is something I started last year, and I really do want to get good at it. But, funny story, I went last Saturday, and the guy who was in charge of it was like a special guest teacher. And this motherfucker, this is no joke, y'all. This guy, he's like part of the Korean Special Forces, and he's a black belt in Jiu Jitsu. So, like, this guy, like, kills people in his sleep. You know, probably sleeps with his eyes open and shit. Anyway, he was like he was the instructor. And I realized looking around, like, everybody else in there was like blue belts and brown belt. And these are guys that have been at this for at least 3-4 years, right? I tip over putting my socks on in the morning. So needless to say, like, I got my ass handed to me last Saturday. And I was like, okay, you know, this was a bad day to come. And what I've realized is it's like, you know, learning jiu-jitsu is one thing, but I've got to really improve my balance, and I've got to really improve like my strength and, you know, core strength and all this stuff. So that's all kind of going together. I'm trying to lose weight, strengthen my core, and work on my balance. All this so that I can get back to jiu-jitsu after my vacation and make a better go of it, because I'm really glad nobody was there to see last Saturday. Oh man, shit. Anyway. Another resolution of mine is to finally, and I know I say this every year, but to finally complete my novella and my short story collection. One reason I was really excited about going home this year is because I thought I would finally have time and space and mental faculties to finally sit down and accomplish this goal that I've had for years and years and years and years. Of course, it didn't work out that way, but that doesn't mean that I can't get it done. So even though I've got a busy job and a busy schedule and all these other things I'm trying to accomplish, I really, really want this to be the year when I finally get this short story collection finished. So by all means, tell me that you can't wait to read it, so I'll have some kind of motivation to keep going here. Speaking of stories, this week I have read 2 or 3 of the out-of-print publications of one J.D. Salinger. Now, I know Salinger has that weird reputation for being reclusive and The Catcher in the Rye and John Lennon and all that stuff, but we shouldn't ignore the fact that the man was a master of the short form. In fact, I think Salinger was at his best in the short form. Now, these out-of-print publications that I'm talking about here, these are very, very early. These were stories that he had published in magazines and stuff, and you could tell he really, really hadn't come into it. It's like a lot of these stories, it's the kind of stuff that you'd read in a creative writing class. Some of them you're really like, God, I could have written that. I've written stuff that's better than that, if I may be so bold. But it is interesting to see where he started from. So if there's any other Salinger fans out there, let me know about it. Like I was saying, I think he's best in his short form. If I had to tell you to read anything of Salinger's, I would tell you to read 9 stories. For all the legend and all the weird, for all the mystique around him, for all that, he was a very good writer. Another story that you should definitely get into. Has anybody, maybe I'm late to this party, did anybody else follow the Bear Brook podcast? I found out about this week, and I spent an entire day just absorbed in this. Bear Brook, it's this podcast about a true crime story in New Hampshire where there was a barrel that was found in a state park, and there were 2 bodies inside of it. So, the police do an investigation, everything. They come to nothing, they can't find any clues. 15 years later, they discover another barrel that they didn't notice. So now it's turns out there were actually 4 bodies, and they're trying to figure out how they got there, who put them there, all this. It'll absolutely blow your mind. If you are into the West Memphis 3 case, if you are into any true crime, you need to know about this. Bear Brook is a great podcast, and there's also some good stuff on YouTube about it too, so check it out. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Jay, that's great that you're reading Salinger, but, aren't you supposed to be reading War and Peace? Yes, I am. And in fact, I've got it right here. I'm almost to the end of part 1, which means that next week I'll be able to tell you all about part 1. So let me finish, getting where I'm going. And next week from Romania, I'll be able to tell you all about part 1 of War and Peace. Speaking of Romania, I'm flying there on Friday, which means 3 days from now I will be up in the air on my way to Bucharest. Now, what's funny is I've already booked my tours over there in Romania, and one of them is going to Vlad Tepes' castle. Vlad Tepes, for those of you who don't know, was the historical Dracula. He was the Romanian prince, the Transylvanian prince that the Dracula myth and the Dracula story is based on. So I'm going to his actual castle next Sunday. And I'm trying to decide, I'm going to need you to help me with this. I'm trying to decide which Dracula I want to annoy the other people on the tour with. Do I want to do the Bela Lugosi Dracula, or do I want to do the Gary Oldman Dracula? And here's the difference. The Bela Lugosi Dracula was very welcome to my castle. Come in. Listen to them. The children of the night. What sweet music they make. My reflection in the mirror. The real cardboard kind of, the classic Dracula, black cape and everything. The Gary Oldman Dracula was that, goth dude Dracula. This, the kind of guys that, some girls in high school were like, oh my God, it's he's creepy, but also kind of attractive, so, I don't know. Your impotent men with their foolish spells cannot protect you from my power. You remember that scene where he was with Winona Ryder? And he's like, no, I cannot let this be. I love you too much to condemn you. And she looks up at him. She's all like, then take me away from all this death. And she spits all over the place. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola. I hate to admit this, it's not a great movie. Okay, like you really see the '90s limitations on it, but it's worth seeing. It's not great, but it's awesome. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of shit from the '90s is like that. So which one do I do on the tour? Do I do Bela Lugosi or do I do Gary Oldman? In the comments, let me know. And if you want postcards from Romania or any of the other countries that I visit, remember, drop me a line at hellogabriella@yahoo.com. I will add you to the postcard list. I will be sending you something, but I have to know where I'm sending it to, so give me your address. I think that's just about everything for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and next week we'll be coming to you from Bucharest, so by all means, tune in, and I will see you then. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and do it, because every week those subscribers, I get more and more, and it's just a good feeling. There's no real reason for it. Like I said, I'm not trying to make a career out of this, but it's always nice to see those numbers go up. So by all means, subscribe, and I will see you next week when I'm on vacation. Later.